Hi everyone, in today's video, we're gonna look at LangChain templates. So the LangChain templates is a recent feature that LangChain has released. So basically templates are nothing but the LangChain application using which we can build production ready LLM application quickly. Basically templates are nothing but some reference architecture that you can easily modify as per your use case, and we're gonna see that functionality. Also this we can deploy these templates using something called the LangServe, which will we will also see this, just have an overview of what exactly the LangServe, and which is basically, using LangServe you can deploy the LangChain application as a REST API, and under the hood it is using fast API. So in the exploration of our templates, we will see the LangServe, how do we access those API and all of those things. Basically I put the agenda here. So we're gonna see what is LangChain templates, then we're gonna see how to install those templates and how to run those templates. Then we will see what is exactly the LangServe and how to access its REST API endpoints. And basically then we will see how do we modify templates for our own use case. And then we will see whatever the template or the application that we have deployed using LangServe, how can we access our own application in the other program, let's say as a Python client somewhere else. So we're gonna see, this couple of things. It is still a beginner friendly tutorial. So let's start with the LangChain template. Let me go back here, and we can follow these, step by step actually to install a particular template. But before that, sorry, uh, okay, so before we install the LangChain templates, let's look at what are the templates we have. So if you come to the LangChain documentation, you can go here and browse all the templates actually. And there are some popular templates. So one of the template we have is, a rag with chatbot. So basically chatbot which can answer from your own data, right? Then you have a, let's say, the template for the OpenAI functions as an agent, right? So you have a many such a templates available. There is a list of template that you could use, and I think LangChain has collaborated with a lot of other third parties to have their all templates ready. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to choose a template that is of my interest, which is the RAG Chroma, because most of the time I build the RAG application using Chroma Vector DB, right? So I'm going to use that particular application. So let me click here, so when I click here RAG Chroma, you can see the step by step things that we need to do. So if you're not already using LangChain CLI, you can use the LangChain CLI. That makes it easy to create LangChain application using our command line. So let's first of all install. Since I have already installed, so it will not make any difference, but you can install it. The next thing is this: once we have the LangChain CLI installed, you can create the LangChain app. So you can use the command using LangChain app new, give the name for your app, and this is where the LangChain templates come into picture. So here you can see I'm installing a package called the RAG Chroma, which is nothing but I'm telling while creating the app, also install this RAG Chroma template. Now I could change this RAG Chroma name with the something else. So maybe, as I told you, right, there are a lot of these different. If you open this particular template, it will have instructions say that the package name is equal to CSV agent, right? Let's stick to what we have, the rack chroma, and maybe I can install that particular thing. Let me go back here, clear the screen, and let's I will keep the name same. Let's call it my app only, and install this rack chroma package. It is asking me whether I want to install the environment. Let's click Y, and okay, it is actually installing the package. Now we could see we got this new folder called my app, and it is also installing. I think it is successfully built the rack chroma templates. Okay, good. And it is also giving some instruction, but we will follow the instructions on the repo. So finally we got this folder my app, which I think has the Streamlit, not Streamlit, sorry, the LangChain app with the, what you call, the rack chroma template. Now what next thing we need to do? Okay, there is one more thing. So if you have already existing apps, instead of saying new app, you can simply do add, right? So you can see this, add this particular template, and it will add, right? Now inside the template we're gonna have this server.py that we need to modify to make sure that has the rack chroma endpoint enabled. So let's first of all, see where is that server.py. Let's look at the the application that we have installed. So this my app, you can see there is app folder, there is a packages folder, and this docker and all of those things, right? This readme file will be having the same instruction that what we are actually looking at there. It has those same instruction. Let's look at the app first of all. So this app, if you look at the server.py, it is nothing but the our a fast API application where we are actually we can add some routes or routes here which we can access using this swagger docs and something like that, right? So let's see what instruction they are saying. They are asking us to modify this server.py. So if you go back to the instructions, we can see we need to import this from the rack chroma template. We need to import this particular chain, and then we can add something called add routes. Now this is where actually the LangServe coming into the picture. So this syntax is actually belong to this LangServe, right? So if you look at this LangServe, which is nothing but allowing us to deploy LangChain application as an API. So this if you read about this LangServe, we can come to know that we will get certain endpoints in the LangServe, and maybe let's look at the down. Yeah, here you could see, so in the LangServe, we can add routes in our fast API application, right? And so we are saying that in this application, we want to, whenever someone visit slash OpenAI, we want to execute this particular model, right? So this way we could add the different routes we will do, and you could exactly see what I mean by that. So let's follow that instruction and let's copy. So let me copy this particular thing, and let's add this route here, and let me save this thing. Now I think we can run this template. Let's go back and follow instruction again. If you want to integrate the langsmith, which is another product or the feature from the langchain, which we will cover in some upcoming videos, not inside this particular video, right? Now let's go inside our app directory. So let me go cd my app, and now we can do this thing called the LangChain serve, which will actually serve that template as an API. So let's do this thing. Okay, so we got some error. So what error we got? Let's look at this thing. So it is using OpenAI embedding. It is using OpenAI thing. So basically, it is looking for, I think, OpenAI key. Yeah, it is asking for the OpenAI key, and we don't have that OpenAI key. So let's do one thing. Let's add the OpenAI key. So we can let's create the environment file here. I think they might have given this information already here somewhere. Let's see, not here, but I think the LangChain template page should have this information. Yeah, you could add these, export the OpenAI key as an environmental variable or something like that. Anyway, let's create the inside our my app. Let's create one environment file, and let's add the key that what we wanted to add. So let's see what key name. The key name is this. Okay, for the tutorial purpose I have created the key. Let me use that particular key. So I kept that key here, and I'm gonna use this key. Okay, we got the key. Now let's start running again our application. It is not able to find the it is not able to find still apply this. What is this? Our environment variable. Let's do one more thing. Let's load the environment variable. So I don't remember the syntax. Maybe what is that? Dot environment load, maybe what? Python environment variable. I have become so lazy that I need to use now ChatGPT for everything. That dot environment syntax actually I wanted. Maybe I better I open ChatGPT also. I just need those couple of two lines to import those variables, and I don't remember actually those syntax. There is no point remembering. Okay, let me copy this thing. I just need these 2 3 lines to make sure. So if I go to the app again, back to the server, let's do this thing. We don't need those environment, the app will find. I just want to make sure that we imported dot environment. That's it. So now it should be able to actually load, because we are importing load environment. Let me, for safe side, I will just start the application again actually. Now what, it's gonna take some time. Anyway, usually we can use this load dot environment, and then yep. What happened? It got stuck. Better I kill this thing and try again. So let me go back. What is that command? I think it is LangChain serve. Let's type that command and do this thing. No project.toml file. Okay, we are running from the wrong directory. So let's get inside the app. Now let's run. Hope it will run. Yeah, now it's running. So we just added those 2 lines, which is like, loading those environment variable. I don't know why it is not mentioned in their uh, the page or the whatever the readme file, but for me, I think I had to add those lines always. Loading dot environment or loading environment variables. So I think you can see the LangServe application is live. We can go there, right? So here it is. You could see there are so many endpoints are coming. Basically, even I haven't studied or explored all of these options, but we will see what we actually gonna need. So our application that we just installed, the rack chroma, which is nothing but what do you call the rag is nothing but the retriever augmented generation, right, where we could chat with our documents, or we get answers from our document. So what we want to do actually, let's look at the, I think LangServe has the documentation to explain what is invoke, and let's see. Yeah, so these are certain endpoints it supports. Basically, invoke is nothing but we can pass input, and that will go through our LangChain application, or basically more precisely through the lang chain, or the chain that we have declared. And the batch is nothing but passing the multiple inputs. We will see both of this, because this is what we're gonna use. We can also access the playground. Okay, we will see this thing. We will also access the playground. But before that, let's look at the code. Since we are using the rag, what document actually we are adding inside this particular application. So let's look at the code. If you look at the package which is here, let's go to the rack chroma package, and then there will be a file called chain.py. Here is your application actually. Now if you see at the moment what it is doing, so it is definitely using chroma, and then it is building a chroma vector store or vector database using just this single sentence. That's it. It is calling this rack chroma collection, then it is using OpenAI embedding, and then if you see, basically it is if you look at the application, it is creating the chroma vector database from some documents, and then it has declared one prompt template which has very basic instruction that answer the question based on the below context. Then they created the prompt template, then we took one chat OpenAI LLM model, and then eventually we create the chain. This chain is nothing but, I think this chain is nothing but, first our let's say, where is that thing? Yeah, so first whatever the input we're going to pass, which is the question, it will go through the prompt, and then we will get that formatted prompt. That prompt will pass through the model, and then eventually that model output go through the standard output person. Now you see, you can change all of those things here if you want to change with this, and we're gonna do the change. We don't want to have this. Let's change something for our purpose. So maybe we don't want documents like this, let's see what they have. They have some commented code here. We could see we can pass some web url, and it will load that document, and we can get answers. So we're going to do that thing. So let me uncomment this part and then play with it. So let's see, let's not use this particular url. I will use my own url. So let me go back, and I have my own company website url. that I can use. I think I put it here. Yeah. So this is my website, which I never updates. I just want, that particular URL, and because that URL has some old tech stack I'm using and that kind of stuff. So let me see. Let me copy this thing and paste it here. So basically we are asking load this particular URL and treat this as a data this, and then it's gonna this is simple. I think we have already have a LangChain basic tutorial where we have gone through all of those things. So we loaded our data, then it is using some recursive text splitter, and then finally we are splitting our documents. The chunk size will be the 500 and there is no overlapping among those chunks. And once we have all this split, let's split here so that not split here, sorry, let's print here so that we can see what's exactly inside that. Maybe I just put the first element of it, zeroth element of that. So we will print here something so that we can see whether it is really coming from our website or not, right? And then we got those all those splits. We those are nothing but the documents, okay? And then we got the collection name. Everything is fine. Let's see. So basically now we have modified this rag chroma template so that it will use our own document, which is nothing but currently we are loading from the website or the web URL. Let's rerun our application. Let's go back here. I think it has rerun. If you see, since it is restarted, and you could see we have printed the first page here, and we can see this page has a content related to my website, which is like something like future smart AI, custom natural language processing solution and stuff. So basically it is able to load the data that I have given, but let's see whether it is able to answer question from that. Let's go back to the this thing, which is the document that what we have, right? And let's invoke. So the invoke is nothing but we are calling the chain, and chain is nothing but what we saw at the bottom of this application, right? We know there is one chain and we are calling this chain by the invoke method, and this is API, so anyone can call this, so let's try it out. Let's say what is future smart AI, okay, and let's see whether we can get the answer. So it is saying Future Smart AI is a company that specializes in custom natural language processing, all of this thing, right? So yeah, we have successfully actually modified the rack chrome application, and we try integrated our own document inside it, right? One before, so we can see the other application. Okay, let's do this thing also. So there is one endpoint invoke, there is other endpoint called the batch, which is nothing but as name suggests, it should take the multiple such a questions. So you can see the inputs are the list of inputs. Maybe here I can ask the same thing. What is future smart AI, right? And then let me ask one more question, which is like what stack or tech stack I would say AI uses. Hopefully it works. Let's see. Okay, great. We got two answers. You can see. So batch is nothing but you can pass actually multiple inputs. If you want to execute with the single input, you can use invoke. If you want multiple, you could use the batch. This is most of the time you could use the batch thing, right? And if you pass the list of inputs, we're gonna get the list of outputs. Pretty good, right? And so you can think of no need to worry about what should be the API endpoint, what should be the response structure, input structure. You can simply follow the LangChain structure, right, which you can standardize across your team. That's good, all good. Now let's see, we wanted to see that playground also, right? Yeah, here you could see we can access the playground as a slash playground. Let me go there again, 8000, but we don't want these docs. Oh, let me first this thing, then I don't want this doc. We got this extra slash, so you get this good UI also so that you can play with your application. So you get the playground at this particular location, and we can do the same thing I think here also, I hope so. Yeah, so we can do the same thing there and we should be able to play with our application. Let's see. Yeah, wow, we are able to do this thing, right? So this is good. We are able to get easily, we are able to get the APIs, we are able to get the playground where you could play and see how your application is working. What is the intermediate step? Let's see what's happening under the hood. So it was the question, we can see what context it picked up, we can see the page content, metadata. Okay, then we can see the retriever. Wow, this is good. We can literally debug using this all this. We can see runnable pass through. This went to the runnable, and this was the prompt template final message, and this is what the OpenAI response, and this is what the parser did. This is really good. you know we could use this whatever this playground actually to debug our own application, what's happening for the each step rather than printing here on the terminal. So I really like this particular interface, the playground thing that we could use, right? So what we did actually, so eventually we saw what is LangChain, we saw how to install running templates, we also saw the invoke and the batch, both the methods of the LangServe. We saw how can we modify the template, and yeah, we could see this accessing the deployed template. But before that, let's try something else also. I know I just modified the this thing, I just modified website URL, but what if we want to load our own documents, right? Let's do that thing, because I had one document handy. So I have one data folder here, let's say, and that has one PDF. So maybe what I will do, let me load that data folder here. What happened? Just copy paste this much time. So this is nothing but one. I have one PDF which has some hypothetical frequently asked questions related to the e-commerce company, like how do I place the order, whether what kind of payment methods do you accept, something like that. Oh, what happened here? It's why? Is there a way I can stop this? No. What if I create new folder here myself again and give it name called data? Error, resource is busy and the blocked. Okay, I don't know why it is happening, but let's for the sake of demo, I don't want to waste my time. So let's say we have a data folder here inside the our main app folder, and let's say we want to load this data and then get the answer instead of loading from the URL. Let's go back to our meanwhile, let me stop this thing. Let's comment this part, right? So we don't want to load from the URL, rather we want to load from the directory. We want to load all the files in that particular directory. So we require a directory loader. I think I had a I just keep the link handy, so we can use the LangChain directory loader. And again, if you are not familiar, you should watch some beginner tutorial. I have myself created a LangChain tutorial where I have explained this directory loader and all of those things. You can also go. So basically, LangChain has a lot of ways that you can load different document, HTML, JSON, files, CSV, everything. I'm showing typical file or directory reader, and then this is how we're gonna load all the documents from that directory. So we import the directory loader, then directory loader. We have to give the directory path. Here they are, I think, only looking for .md file. I don't care, I just want all the files. And maybe I give the name of our folder, which is the data. That's it. I think it should be able to get all those files, but we have only one file, we know, right? And then we are passing that data here, and then we can see again whether we get something similar from that file. Let's do this thing now. Hopefully this time we see something from that PDF and not from the my original, what was that, my original website document. Let's run the LangServe now. Okay, it is loading. Okay, we could see now that the first page it has printed related to our what payment methods do you use, it means it is definitely loaded our PDF file and not our original, right? So let me ask something, maybe payment methods do you support. Let's go back to this and go to the fast API, go to the invoke now again. I go to the invoke and let's say I say here, maybe I say payment method accepted. Let's see and ask that question. The payment method accepted all credit card, PayPal and store credit. Let's see whether it is correct. Payment methods accepted are credit cards, PayPal and the store credit. So you could see even I'm able to modify the application to load the documents like a PDF, and we can even load from the, let's say, this website URL or something, right? Now the last thing I want to show you, okay, this is what we have deployed our application, but how does the one way is people can access this application just like typical REST API application, but LangChain also provides a Python client using which you can access your own deployed application, right? That's another interesting thing. So let's go back to, you can see you could use this from the LangServe. It also has a client using which you can connect the application which serve or deploy using the LangServe. Let's not talk too much. Let's copy this particular thing, and maybe what I will do, I go the outside of the application and I create one file called test.py, and we will access our own application there. So our application is a rack chroma which is already running, and this is the runnable what we got, and this is outside. Let's do one thing. So we got this runnable object which we can invoke because we got this invoke method, and we can ask that same thing here and we should get the answer what we just asked on the API. We should ask that same thing there and we should get the same answer. Let me take that particular thing, go back here, paste it here. Yeah, let's print it, else we will not come to know whether what is the, okay. So I'm gonna print this thing. Okay, I think all good. That's it. We just import the remote runnable from the LangServe client. We specify where is our remote, which is nothing but currently this is where our fast API is serving, and the name of our package or the name of our endpoint actually, right? Because that is the endpoint we have added. If you go to the server, yeah, the rack chroma, that is the endpoint we have added. So we need to access that same endpoint, and once we got that particular chain, this is nothing but actually the chain object that we're gonna get, and then we can invoke that runnable and we can pass the same input. Okay, let's test it. Let me open one more tab, and first let me activate my environment. Good. Now let's run it like a normal Python file, the python test.py, and let's see. The payment methods accepted are all major credit card. You see, we are able to access our own deployed application using the LangServe client. I know a lot of things, but we just, there were many things we just touch upon those things: LangChain template, LangServe, this playground, and all of those stuff, right? I hope you find this video useful. You can try yourself, try something more. I could just try one or two small things which I could quickly show and build here, but I know you could do a lot more amazing things, and definitely you should go and check maybe whatever the things you want to build. There are already some template that you could reuse and then modify, right? So I really find this idea really interesting, LangChain templates, and I might create more videos on that. Especially I will create, I guess, video on maybe the LangServe, which seems to be interesting topic, and I need to just give some justice to it. So I might create one video just dedicated to the LangServe, and maybe going through all of these endpoints, what they do. Currently, when I don't understand what they do, I just know this one or two endpoints which I use, currently. So I might spend some time on this, right? Let me know in the comment if you have some other suggestions, or you want me to create some other tutorial. Okay, thank you for your patience. This video might have got long. Thank you very much.